Welcome to my channel Mintage Mysteries, where every coin has a hidden story. If you love discovering hidden treasures and uncovering coin secrets, you're in the right place. We're on a quest to solve the puzzles behind the world's most fascinating coins. From rare errors to legendary rarities, let's dive into the mysteries of numismatics. The 1980 UK 1 penny coin comes from a long and deeply rooted tradition of British coinage, reflecting both the historical development of the nation's currency and the artistic choices made to represent British identity. Although it was an everyday coin in its time, the penny carried with it centuries of economic history, technological progress, and symbolic meaning. The story of the 1 penny denomination stretches back to the early modern period, when small copper coins were introduced to support daily trade among ordinary people. Before decimalization, the British monetary system was complex, based on pounds, shillings, and pence, with 12 pence making a shilling and 20 shillings making a pound. For generations, the penny served as the most basic unit of value, essential for small purchases and local commerce. When the United Kingdom adopted the decimal system in 1971, the penny was redefined as 1/100th of a pound. Even though its value and role changed slightly, the name penny was retained to preserve familiarity and continuity for the public. By the time the 1980 penny was issued, decimal currency had been in use for nearly a decade, and the coin had become a normal and accepted part of daily life. The composition of the 1981 penny coin is an important part of its historical significance. It was struck in bronze, an alloy made up mainly of copper, with smaller proportions of tin and zinc. This combination had been used for British pennies for many decades because it offered a balance of durability, resistance to corrosion, and ease of striking. The high copper content gave the coin its warm reddish-brown color, which darkened over time as the metal reacted with air and handling. Bronze coins were heavier and more substantial in feel than later issues, giving a sense of solidity that many people still associate with traditional British coinage. The 1980 penny belongs to the later years of bronze production, as rising metal costs would eventually lead to the introduction of copper-plated steel pennies in the early 1990s. As a result, the 1980 issue represents the closing phase of a long metallurgical tradition. The design of the coin further reinforces its connection to British history and identity. The obverse features a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Arnold Machin. This portrait is known for its simplicity and elegance, presenting the Queen in a youthful and dignified manner. She is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with her hair styled neatly and her expression calm and composed. The portrait was chosen to convey stability and continuity during a period of social and economic change in Britain. Around the portrait runs a Latin inscription identifying Elizabeth II as Queen and head of the Commonwealth, reflecting the constitutional monarchy and the country's global connections at the time. The reverse of the 1981 penny coin displays the portcullis design, one of the most recognizable symbols in British numismatics. The portcullis is a medieval gate traditionally associated with castles and fortifications, symbolizing security and strength. In a British context, it is closely linked to the Palace of Westminster and the authority of Parliament. The design shows the portcullis with chains hanging down on either side, topped by a crown that represents the monarchy. Below the image appears the denomination written as 1 penny. This reverse design was created by Christopher Ironside as part of the new decimal coinage introduced in 1971. Its continued use throughout the 1970s and 1980s helped establish a consistent visual identity for Britain's new currency system. Taken as a whole, the 1980 UK 1 penny coin reflects a careful balance between tradition and modernization. Its bronze composition connects it to centuries of earlier British pennies, while its decimal value places it firmly within the modern monetary system. The portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and the portcullis design work together to express themes of continuity, authority, and national heritage. Although the coin itself had very little purchasing power, it played an important role in everyday transactions and in maintaining public confidence in the currency. Today, the 1981 penny serves as a tangible reminder of a specific period in British history, when traditional materials and designs were still in use just before significant changes reshaped the nation's coinage. The 1980 UK 1 penny coin is widely seen as a common circulation coin, but when examined more closely, its rarity and potential high value depend on specific details that many people overlook. Although millions were produced, not every 1980 penny holds the same status in the eyes of collectors, and under certain conditions, this ordinary-looking coin can become surprisingly desirable. During 1980, the Royal Mint produced an extremely large number of one-penny coins to meet the demands of everyday use. Because of this high mintage, the date itself is not considered rare. Large quantities entered circulation, and many of them were heavily used in shops, public transport, and daily transactions throughout the 1980s. As a result, most surviving examples today show signs of wear such as softened details, scratches, dull surfaces, and darkened bronze color. These circulated coins are very common and usually have little monetary value beyond face value. However, rarity in coin collecting is not defined only by how many coins were made, but by how many survive in exceptional condition. Coins that escaped circulation entirely are far scarcer than worn examples. Uncirculated 1980 pennies were often saved by collectors, taken directly from mint rolls, or included in official sets. These coins retain sharp detail on the Queen's portrait and the portcullis design, with minimal contact marks and original bronze color. Fully red or red-brown examples are especially difficult to find because bronze naturally darkens over time. High-grade uncirculated coins can command significantly higher prices than circulated ones, particularly when demand is strong among collectors building high-quality date runs. Proof versions of the 1981 penny are among the most valuable forms of this coin. Proof coins were struck specifically for collectors using specially prepared dies and polished blanks. They were produced in much smaller quantities compared to circulation coins and were sold as part of official Royal Mint proof sets. These pennies have mirror-like backgrounds, frosted design details, and exceptionally sharp edges. Because proof coins were never intended for everyday use, their survival rate in perfect condition is much higher, but their original production numbers were limited. A well-preserved 1980 proof penny, especially one still in its original packaging, is far more valuable than a standard circulation strike. Minting errors are another factor that can greatly increase the value of a 1980 penny. Errors occur during the production process and are usually detected and removed, making surviving examples uncommon. Coins struck off-center, with clipped planchets, weak or missing details, or double strikes can attract strong interest from error collectors. The more obvious and dramatic the error, the higher the potential value. Even though error pennies from 1980 are not widely reported, any genuine error coin from this year can be considered scarce due to the difficulty of finding verified examples. Subtle varieties and die differences can also affect rarity, although no major widely recognized varieties are known for the 1980 penny. Minor differences in lettering spacing, alignment, or strike strength may appeal to specialist collectors who focus on die varieties. While these coins may not reach extremely high prices, they can still carry a premium over standard examples when properly identified. Market demand also plays an important role in determining value. British bronze pennies remain popular among collectors because they represent the final era before major changes in coin composition. Since pennies were switched to copper-plated steel in the early 1990s, interest in earlier bronze issues has steadily increased. This has helped support prices for high-quality 1980 pennies, especially as fewer uncirculated examples remain available each year. In summary, the 1980 UK 1 penny is not rare in general circulation terms, but it becomes valuable under specific circumstances. Exceptional condition, proof strikes, genuine mint errors, and collector demand are the key factors that transform an ordinary penny into a collectible coin. While most examples are worth very little, careful examination can sometimes reveal hidden value, making the 1980 penny an interesting and rewarding coin for collectors to study. If you enjoyed today's exploration, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and share this video with fellow collectors. And as always, keep searching for those hidden treasures in your change. You never know when you might stumble upon the next big mystery.